welcome to the Shelley Studio. Today I am playing. I did a short a little while ago where I revealed my pressed leaf, and so that was my test, and I thought I would do a whole bunch. So I gathered some random leaves out of the backyard. No, I can't name most of them. This one I believe is sage. Yeah, that one is definitely sage. But the plan, the idea is to use your Sizzix die cutting machine and the pressure of that to press the leaves into the paper, and then the juices basically of the leaves gets into the paper and affects it and stains it and dyes it. But you have to do more. So I watched a video quite a while ago, and I'll link her video down below if I can find it. And I think it's Sacavio. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it, but that was the first person I saw do this technique. And with my sample, I used watercolor paper, and I didn't remember that. So when I was making my new ones, I used sketch paper, which is a little thinner. I would go for something a little bit thicker, but not necessarily textured. So you don't really want textured watercolor paper. Maybe some Bristol or something that's going to absorb, of course, but if you want to get the detail lines, you probably don't want super texture stuff like textured watercolor. But I went ahead and I cut these to the sizes of the leaves, so they're all different random sizes. Ran them through my Sizzix, which I wanted to do this a long time ago, but I was, my neighborhood has a, buy nothing Facebook page. So if people are wanting to get rid of things, they put them on there. And I actually saw somebody with a Sizzix die cutting machine, so I got a die cutting machine. So now I bought a lot of dies, but I could finally do this idea. So I know they don't look like a lot here. The sage, when I open it up, that one shows up pretty well. If they're really juicy, like this one was super juicy, probably not the best to have really thick things go through your die cutting machine. If it's too thick, it can juice out and get on your stuff, which I did have these inside another layer of paper. I had to add a little extra to give a little extra pressure on these. And I know they don't look like much now, but if you saw my short, they're going to look like a lot more. This one had blossoms, and it was gross. I'm like, I pull it apart, but yeah, I don't keep that one. That was just kind of gross. Had all kinds of little bits all over. It was messy. So, yeah, I refrained from doing that. Now, to kind of activate the tannins, I think it's the tannins that stains the paper. And to activate those tannins so they're stronger, you can use different kinds of mordants. And two of those is copper and iron. And I wanted to try both, but I didn't want to buy like the chemical to create them. So I tried doing it naturally. So for the iron, which is rust basically, I took a handful of brand new nails and put them in a mixture, and I think it was 50-50. Yeah. It was 1 part vinegar, 1 part water. And you leave it for a few days, and it's good to go. And the other was copper, and you put copper in 100% vinegar. And they say that takes a month, and it tends to look blue. Well, I was too impatient to wait, and my copper still hasn't changed color. I haven't actually tried it on anything to see if it would work now. But oh, and then there's some, like if you leave them too long in the paper, they'll fuse together, which I did do them all and then come back and video, so some of them had time to sit there for quite a while, so some of them got very fused together, like this one. I can't remember if I keep working at that one or I toss it. I don't know if I have that one. I don't recall seeing that particular, yeah. I think I tossed that to the side, yeah. That one's going to the side. But yeah, so I thought you might be interested in seeing all these before I color them, before I add the rust or the iron water to them. I really wanted to do the copper because the ones I saw done with copper were like a gray color. And the ones that I saw her do with the rust were brown. Well, on my sample, the paper turned brown, but the leaf turned gray. So I still like it. And what am I going to do with all these? Well, they're going to go in my journal project, of course. The smaller ones could be added to tags, or the bigger ones could be journaling spots or just decoration. I don't know exactly, but that's where they're going. That was the whole aim for doing these. Well, besides the fact that I really, really wanted to do them. Now, this leaf was a little purple, so it already looks kind of gray. I can't remember. I think that one goes quite dark, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that one was already, like, it wasn't green. And that's the type of plant it was. It was always a tad purple. And later in the season, it gets really purple. I wonder if it would get more gray now that it's a little more purple. But you don't want totally dry leaves because they wouldn't leave much juice, right? Like I said, you don't want too juicy, but you don't want dry because you want it to leave something on the paper. And I left these to dry between peeling them off. Like, see, here's another one that's fused itself to the other side. Yeah. I leave them to dry because they're still, like this one obviously, still damp. So I wanted them to be dry. And so I could, and I do take a stiff brush to some of them that have a little bit of debris on them still. I don't think I show that, but just took a stiff brush and kind of brushed on them to get any organic matter off. And I think I do this one in spite of all the stuff. One last one. Here we go. All right. So, like I said, I let them dry. And now I have my jar of nail water. So there's nails inside there. And yeah, if you shake it up, it's pretty dark stuff. But if it sits here, like it sits on my shelf and it's clear, but then I stir it up to use it. And I'm just going to take a paintbrush and paint the water. And it's like 1 part vinegar, 1 part water, and a handful of nails. And it's sat for at least a week. They say it's shorter. Like the video that I watched, that I learned from, she gives you detailed instructions on, I think that's the one that gives you detailed instructions on how to make the water. But watch this go. Like, it's so cool. Now, it would be nice if it stayed just gray and white, but of course, that paper is going to turn yellow because we are just putting rust onto the paper. I'm trying to get it all nice and even so it's not like blotchy. But the edges always look kind of blotchy because, yeah, it's just how it goes. But yeah, how is everyone today? Are you having a good day? I'm just getting over a cold. Hopefully, I'm getting over a cold. Um, it's been running around in my house, so that's why I sound like. If you're familiar with me, you know it's not how I normally sound. But you can just watch those as they sit there. They deepen and deepen, and some of them the detail looks really good, and some it's like not so much. But I do a couple of close ups at the end so you can see, and some didn't like in my die cutting machine. It didn't press evenly, and I'm not sure why. Because I had equal layers on top and on bottom. But like this leaf, you can see the top end has a little less than the rest of it. So I don't know. I guess it's possible the paper slipped or something. But it's still cool. And I just had fun brushing that on there and watching it develop. It's like putting developer on, like developing prints in the darkroom. I did that in college. Well, in high school too. That was fun. Did black and white photos in the darkroom. Trying to figure out where I'm going to put everything. And this video is not very long. I have it almost real time. That's why everything looks so slow. I normally have mine super sped up, but it wasn't a long process. Like I didn't show me running them through the Sizzix because I just thought that would be awkward. So yeah, it's pretty short. No, this one, it's kind of the same way. It's like one half got it and the other half didn't. Like the side by the fold got more pressure than the rest. I was trying to think of something to talk about. What should we talk about today? My last video, I think my last video that I put up was for my 10-year anniversary on YouTube. And I offered ATCs to people on that video, and I haven't gotten very many responses, so I have a ton of ATCs. So if you're interested in what I created, check out my last video. And if you're interested in getting one, it has instructions on there. And I'll link that below too, just so you can see it if you want to. I was more chatty on that one, on that video. Pardon my cough. I was trying to decide if I was putting too much water, not enough water. I wanted to make sure I didn't leave any dry spots. You can see the one up in the upper left there. That was the first one we did. It's starting to turn yellow. That one, the smaller one, is quite fuzzy. Maybe it's the type of leaf. I don't know. Yeah, but I think this will work. This will be fun in my my Phenology Journal. And that's an ongoing project. I will link the playlist down below if you're interested in that. It's just all the things that I'm creating to go in this journal. I started with a flip through of the digitals that I purchased that inspired the making of the journal. I'm actually making 6 journals. I'm going to keep one for myself and then probably sell the other 5. I have no idea. I've never sold a journal before, and I've not bought them either. So I really don't know how I'm going to price it, but I do have an Etsy store. It doesn't have much on there right now. But yeah, this will be a future item in my Etsy store eventually. Like I'm not moving very fast at creating this journal. I've done a few things and I have some more footage to edit that'll be part of that. I don't want to add a lot of, I like interactive kind of elements, so I've got to create some interactive kind of elements to go in there. I did a version of a snippet roll. That might be the next video out. But I did that for fun to add stuff into the journal with that. But is it boring to watch me brush rust water onto paper? I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting to just watch those leaves develop. I think she tried alum for one of them too, but I don't think it had a big result. So I didn't try alum. That one is probably in our pantry. I probably could have pulled some of that out. Yeah, I keep trying to find spaces. I only have a teeny little table, and then next to me is my bed. So if it's not on my little table, it's going on my bed. And I don't necessarily want to put rust water on my bed. So it's getting piled up here as I go. That one I just did, that was one of the juicy ones that had extra organic matter. I think it gets pretty dark. I did watch somebody else do this, and they had really juicy ones. She was cleaning her Sizzix machine like crazy. She had some pretty juicy plants. All right, I think I'm about done. I'll do a little flip through them so you can see them. Don't think, yeah, see, okay. I was like, I thought I'd stopped and just did them. So here they are. That's the original. That one was done with stiffer paper. And then I think I'm focusing. I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry for the pause. And then here are all the ones. You can see one side does better than the other. I love the veining on that one. That one was faint all over the place. Look at the veins on that one. It's so cool. That one's the sage. That's the one I know. That was the one with the extra organic matter. A little torn spot. There was one of them is really faint on one side, so I put a stamp on there. You'll see it. It's in the final. This one got a little puddling of the rust water there, so there's a little orange spot. But Isn't that fun? Like if you have something like that, like the die cutting machine, really awesome thing to try. Anything that you could use to press, I think. But like I said, I have some pictures at the end coming up. What do you think? Are you gonna try it? Let me know. Did you like this video? If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Love to hear your comments. I respond to all my comments. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have an awesome day.